Hey, I'm Mike Backrell, and today we're going to take a look at a really flashy John Pisano lick that incorporates enclosures as well as some sweep picking. Let's take a look. So a lot of people know John Pisano as Joe Pass's second half on a lot of classic Joe Pass records because they were always together and they were really close friends. John has a pretty interesting recording history of his own. In addition to hosting Guitar Night every week in Los Angeles for over 20 years, where he would host a trio or a quartet featuring another guitar player, he also has a pretty deep recording history of his own where he played with a lot of great artists. My dad and I went to Guitar Night almost every week for about 4 years. I got to watch John every single week and then, get to know him a little bit. And he's definitely one of my favorite guitar players of all time. This line comes from the Chico Hamilton quintet record, the original Ellington Suite, which also features Eric Dolphy. So it's a great record worth checking out. A lot of great playing from John, as well as Eric Dolphy, if you're a fan of him. So I'm going to divide this line up into 3 sections. Each section goes over each chord. And so this comes from the tune In a Mellow Tone. And the first 3 chords of In a Mellow Tone are B flat 7, E flat 7, and A flat major 7. Each piece of this goes over one of those chords. So let's start with the first piece, over the B flat 7 chord. So he's playing out of this position of B flat 7. He's playing here at the 8th fret with the B flat, playing what would be referred to as the D shape if you use the cage system. And you can see his line accurately reflect that position. So he starts here on the 5th, and he goes down a half step and kind of, surrounds it. So he goes 5, flat 5, 5, 6, flat 7, root, 9, 11, and then he climbs up to the 3rd there. So I think there's 2 pieces to get here. The first part is this part. This is an important little fragment of a line that you hear John Coltrane, Joe Pass, and a lot of guys use, where you surround a chord tone by a half step below and you go up. The second piece is this. So you're starting on the 2nd, going up to the 4th, and then climbing back up to the 3rd. Now the second part of this line is over E flat 7. And he starts pickups into that measure. So there's a lot to take in there. So the first 2 notes are a pickup from the B flat measure. So he starts here. And he walks down. So he goes down 5, 4, and then chromatically 3, flat 3, 2. Starts with the 5th on the beat. And climbs down to the 2nd. So once he gets there, he goes 2nd, root, flat 7, 5th. Then he does this line. So this part right here is used a lot by a lot of people, this little line. So it's enclosing that B flat there. And he climbs up from there. I mean, you could take that and run. And then lands on the flat 9 of the chord. This is really cool. So this whole line. I think there's a couple things to grab here. One thing to grab is the concept of filling in the spaces in your scale. So if we played this straight without any chromatics, we would go down 5, 4, 3, 2. But he takes it, and then right here there's a gap, right? There's a whole step. So he puts it there. You put one here too. So he's filling in the gap there. Next thing to take is this part. This is a line I see a lot of people use. I use it a lot myself. This could use a lot over thinking of like B flat minor, enclosing the root. In this case, we're E flat 7, so we're enclosing the 5th. That's the same home scale between the two chords. You know, if you E flat Mixolydian or B flat Dorian, you might use in a 2/5. The 3 concepts to grab here is filling in your gaps chromatically, enclosing the 5th of the root, using this line, and then holding on a tension. You're allowed to just take in the dissonance of that note. Now for the third part, we're over an A flat major 7 chord. And you can see that he's clearly viewing it around this C position of the A flat major 7 chord. So I'm here, my pinky on the 11th fret, 5th string, 3rd finger on the 10th fret, 4th string, and then 1st finger barred across the 8th fret on the remaining strings. And we're going to use this exact shape to sweep. So it starts here on the 5th of the chord, which from the previous chord, we land on an E, we have an E flat here. So that resolves right down a half step to this part. So they're connected. So we start here, and we go down to the 6th, down to the F. And we climb back up to the 7th, climb to the root, and then go to the 3rd. Now the rhythm there is important. It's 8th note, 2/16, 8th, triplet, 8th, 2/16, 8, triplet, and it lands there. Now the way I'm picking this, down, up, up, down, 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 up, 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 down, 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 down. And then after he gets to the top there, he just does a scale run. And he does go to the sharp 11 of that chord, which I think is very cool too. He goes to the D natural over an A flat, which normally wouldn't be there. So you go 3rd, major 7, 2nd, root, and then go to the 5th, sharp 11, and go down to the 3rd there, and it ends there on the next chord, which is an A flat 7 in the tune. So this line is clearly outlining this chord shape. Now you could use this for other chord shapes. You could apply this to different positions, different shapes of A flat. You could even apply this to the relative minor chords. If I view this shape of F minor, it works just as well there, doesn't it? Because it feels like the same chord, because I go down to that F. So there's 2 uses for that. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. There's a lot here, a lot of cool concepts in this one line. I definitely recommend checking out the record this comes from. So keep practicing, and I'll see you next time.